I'm Hazel. It's Saturday today, which makes it time to sit down and catch up on the WoW news of the week and what I've been up to as best as we can. I have just moved, so please forgive my setup. We're living in Boxtown for a little bit. My life's a little bit of a chaos storm for the moment, but we're going to do our best to round up the headlines of the week, because there's a bunch of them, because Blizzard just did Gamescom and told us all kinds of cool stuff about Midnight. First up, Haranir are becoming a playable allied race in Midnight. I'm very excited about this. I had this one on my bingo card. Not quite trolls, not quite elves is how they were explained kind of in between those two races. We've been questing with them a little bit in the War Within, but you'll be able to play one in Midnight and they will be a druid capable race. They're getting their own brand new druid forms. I heard talk about a pangolin form, which sounds incredible. And this is their preview that they showed for what the customizations and options look like. So they're talking about bioluminescent tattoos. I think these look fantastic. I'm always game for a new allied race. Excellent excuse to make an alt. It's probably going to be like a 90th hunter, but you know, druids, it's great. They also announced a third Demon Hunter spec. I know there's been rumblings about this, but this was not on my bingo card. Devour Demon Hunter will be a ranged Demon Hunter spec, at least partially. They're describing this one as a mid-range Demon Hunter spec, so I'm guessing our other analogy to mid-ranged DPS would be like a Devoker. And they're saying that depending on how you spec your Demon Hunter, you might be kind of hanging out more in that mid-range, or maybe you're darting in and out of melee, depending on how you want to play your new Void-themed Devourer Demon Hunter. They went through a little bit of an ability overview for this, and the thing that kind of jumped out at me is, first of all, it's all purple, and secondly, the Metamorphosis cooldown for Devourer Demon Hunters feels at least a little bit reminiscent to Shadow Priest's Void form, which is probably intentional. This one, it sounds like you're going to be building up energy to get into it, but once you're into it, kind of like Void form, you're going to be fighting to stay in it, presumably by doing a bunch of stuff. Full disclosure, I don't really know how Demon Hunters work. I never have. As a healer, I mainly know them for jumping into mechanics in melee, so maybe these ones will be safer. Next up, there's a new outdoor world content feature that they announced for Midnight called Prey, which sounds very cool. Basically, you're going to pick an enemy to hunt, except that they hunt you, so I think they're the prey and also you're the prey. And the idea is that after you've selected your enemy and your difficulty, you're going to be at risk of being ambushed while you're outside in the world. So maybe while you're traveling between places, maybe while you're doing a world quest or whatever, your prey creature can just kind of ambush you and you'll be fighting them at a moment's notice. This sounds reminiscent of getting ambushed by the Delve boss inside of a Delve. It seems like sort of an expanded version of that, but offering quite good rewards. And 3 different difficulty levels. So there's like a basic one, there's a medium one, and then there's a nightmare difficulty. So if you're looking for more challenging single player world content, you'll be able to fight these powerful enemies when you least expect it. These will interact with your Great Vault in the outdoor content slot. So I believe that's the same slot that Delves as well as like outdoor events take up, and they can offer Great Vault rewards up to and including hero track gear. Did you not like that I closed my door? You see the tail? Don't unplug anything back there. I just plugged it in. I'm excited about Prey. It sounds fun. It sounds like a little bit snappier than some of the outdoor content progression options. And I want to see like how hard the hard one feels like. Because I love doing outdoor content and I love doing it on my main. But at a certain point, once I'm kind of like geared up from Mythic Plus and Raid and whatever, it starts to feel a little bit silly. So this sounds cool. I'm all over this. What else did they talk about? Revamping the leveling and the new player experience. I'm not going to get too into that because we're all chronically online, right? But basically, they're going to let you play Dragonflight all the way leveling 1 to 70, and they're going to allow you to play through actually the patch content as well as the end raid bosses of Dragonflight while leveling. They've got like story mode versions of like Razageth and Sarkareth and stuff to kind of keep you in a story so you're not jerked around so much. So that's kind of neat. Some really cool new quality of life upgrades. This is something I'm very excited about. Some sort of add-on replacement features that Blizzard is adding to default WoW. One of them are built-in damage meters. I never thought they would do it, but here they are. Here's the first look at them. And the exciting thing that they kind of used as a selling point for this is server-side accuracy. So as compared to something like your details, your SCADA, or your recount, or whatever you're using these days, where getting out of range or going into a different combat phase on a fancy boss fight that has those might result in like discrepancies in people's damage meters. These ones are server side, so they have one truth and the voice has spoken and it has told you how much damage you did or did not do. They said that damage meters have always been like one of the most, if not the most widely installed add-ons, so it makes sense for them to add them at this point. I'm assuming that you can hide it if you don't want to look at it. You can hide everything else on this UI, so. Because sometimes I like to turn off my meters because sometimes I just don't want to know until later. They're also revamping and adding built-in boss alerts. This kit is kind of meant to replace your DBMs. So they've had in-game boss alerts for important mechanics for a while, but it sounds like they're expanding them. And even more importantly, adding boss timers. They showed kind of this like rolling bar of upcoming important boss abilities. And this is most of what I have DBM for. The alerts are definitely great. But I really like being able to see what abilities are coming up next so I can prepare for them in some way or another. And having that built into the base game, I feel like evens the playing field out massively, because that's one of the best things that you can do to kind of improve your raiding performance is get used to thinking ahead a step or two about where you're going and how you're best going to get there. Third to the UI upgrades, and my favorite one, they are finally updating nameplates. I have been waiting for this because the default nameplates, to put it politely, suck. These ones look much better. They offer a lot of the things that modern nameplate add-ons do, it looks like. And something that I'm excited that they have, because I was a little worried that we would lose this when they eventually like chop down the axe on things like Plater. These ones have built-in lethal cast highlighting, so to show kind of priority interrupts. If there's a spell that is going to probably wipe your group if it doesn't get kicked, your built-in nameplates should highlight that and make it very clear where it is, who's casting it, and that it's going to be a problem. It looks great, very excited. I am a Plater person right now, but I'm the kind of player that if I can get rid of an add-on and use default UI comfortably for my like medium level needs, then I will happily do that. So super excited about that. And then the Transmog updates, highly, highly exciting, especially for people like me and perhaps you that take Transmog very seriously and find that it hurts our wallets a little bit gold-wise. You are now going to, in Midnight, be able to transmog the slot rather than the item. So maybe you have an outfit that you like to wear, but you're getting gear upgrades all the time and you're sick of spending a couple $100 gold to update that appearance onto every new pair of shoulders or whatever you get. Now, you just transmog the slot, and then it doesn't matter what gear you're wearing, it will show the same. If you're the kind of player that likes to put on like one transmog set per expansion and then never touch it, this is going to save you massive amounts of gold. And even if you're not, even if you're somebody that likes to change up your transmogs, they're also adding in this ability to save various outfits, which we have already, but to map those saved outfits to various contexts and have them switch automatically. So some examples they've given have been dungeons and raids, relaxing in your player housing, I'm assuming other stuff as well. I'm assuming there's going to be more situations. Fishing, I would love to have like a fishing outfit or like a pet battle outfit or whatever it may be. I'm imagining this works something like how, you know, when you do profession crafting, your cosmetic profession equipment pops on. Kind of like that, but like for an entire transmog set that you get to personally customize. This is phenomenal news, and I think it might save me a lot of gold, although I might get very excited and carried away and then spend a bunch of gold like creating and customizing and saving these sets, because of course that will still cost you some gold up front. So those are my favorite things. I'm going to rapid fire through a couple of other key facts that we learned about that are still important, but, shorter ones. They are doing more delves with ground mountable spaces, which I'm excited about. I've been wanting more places to ride my ground mounts around in, because otherwise it feels a little bit pointless to have them. So being able to use them in some delves will be nice. Speaking of delves, Valera Sanguinar is going to be our new Bran. So instead of Bran, this is our new companion. Hopefully she is effective and helpful. I am also hoping that she has at least a little bit of a sense of humor, because I've gotten very used to Bran roasting me, and I'm going to kind of miss it if she's too serious, but we'll see. We're getting new talent points for the class trees. We're just getting new talent points to put into what sounds like our existing class trees, so you can just kind of get deeper into the trees that we have. A couple extra talent points to put into hero talents and spec talents as well, and hero talents are getting an extra vertical row, so more hero talents to play with in Midnight. A couple PvP things. They're doing training grounds, which sound kind of interesting. Inspired by Comp Stomp, they are adding a training mode for a couple of PvP instances that have NPCs that are a little smarter than your standard, to kind of help newbies find their feet in PvP and get used to like the rules of the BG map and the basic flow of how things work before you throw them into the pit of sharks that is random players. Speaking of raids, our first tier of the raid is going to be actually 3 raids. They are splitting this first raid tier across 3 different instances. They have 6 bosses in one instance, 1 boss in another, and I missed how many's in the third, to be honest, but I'm assuming not many. Kind of reminiscent of very early WoW raids, or I remember in Cataclysm, I swear we had a tier that was split into 2, like the first tier of Cata, I think they did in 2 chunks. And then for player housing, they did a creator clash, which I haven't had a chance to watch yet, but I really want to because it sounds really cool. I'm dying to get my hands on housing. It's going to be soon. Player housing is going to be available to the masses in the game before the end of this year. It's going to come in 11.2.7 for anyone who pre-orders Midnight. But even if you have not pre-ordered Midnight, you'll be able to start collecting furniture for your future house at that point. And speaking of Midnight pre-orders, those are now live and available with some cosmetic rewards that you can get in-game right now. I'm sure you can check that out in your shop if you're interested. I don't have mine just yet because honestly, I want to get another WoW token with gold so I can do a Blizzard balance so I can save my actual money for other stuff for a hot minute. But if player housing manages to come out before I make up the difference in gold, I'm going to bite the bullet and do it because you know I'm going to get into that house. So those are the WoW headlines. As far as what I've been up to this week, I've moved. I purchased a house. It felt like a very grown-up thing that I feel like they shouldn't have let me do, but they did let me do it, and so far it's going okay. We made it here. The animals are good. We're good. New Hazelnutty HQ under assembly over here. I've got my own little house with my own little yard. And setting it up is very daunting. I didn't realize how much stuff I had until I had to put it all in boxes and then hire people to pick them up and move them for me. But so far so good. I am surviving, and somewhere underneath all of the busyness, I am really happy. I really love it here. I'm so excited to be living here. So that's been the week. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to try and get content back up and running over the next week or 2, but it's going to be a little messy as I get settled because I am not settled in yet. You want to see and that's just this room. This is the easy room, but we'll be up and running in no time. Thank you so much for your support, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.